So the new Mass Effect Andromeda game is coming out soon, and here are my thoughts on it. The Mass Effect games have been praised by gamers for its epic storytelling and RPG gameplay, and I'm a big fan of the series as well. The series took a nosedive, a huge nosedive in the dirt entry for its ridiculous, unsatisfying ending. I didn't like the ending as well, but I was willing to give the series another chance. I think this game, the new game, Mass Effect Andromeda, I think it's going to be very, very polarizing. Now, hear me out. The main thing I like about the game, from the trailers, from the footage, I like the action gameplay. I like that. I like how the world looks. I like the graphics. I like the engine they're using. That stuff is solid. But the reason I liked Mass Effect as a series was the story. And I like the focus was on the story. It wasn't distracted by a lot of things. It kept focused on the characters and the story. And that could get a player emotionally invested in these characters. Yeah, I was like entertained by how good the story was for the first, 2.75 game. Yeah. And what I thought about the new take on the Mass Effect universe, where they're trying to make it open world, I have mixed feelings on it. The thing about the Mass Effect open world situation is that, the thing about open worlds is that you need to fill them with so much content to keep the world interesting, and that could distract from the main story, which is why I played the games. I played the games because I cared about the characters, but if the game has to be like open world, it could distract from all the things that I loved from the game. Like when I played the first three, the games were focused on character building, character establishment, focus on like choices you made. It was linear, but you had choices to the game that affected the outcome of the story at the end. That's what made the game so great. That's why people play them. They love the story, they love the characters, and they love the world building. It gave you emotional investment. It's a great game design choice that I don't understand why people hate. I mean, why do games have to be always open world? Why is there so much fascination of just being everything open world? If you make a game open world, it could end up being shallow, and it could ruin the immersion of the game. That do open worlds phenomenally well, like Grand Theft Auto, The Witcher 3, Fallout. Those games have great side quests. They have the extra content that keeps the worlds alive and fresh. But there are other developers who don't really do a good job with that. Like they just add so many repetitive side quests, add just pointless filler, or just make all this bullshit in a game that doesn't add anything. It's just there to extend the length of the game. Make the game world feel shallow and empty, or you just do things that are just repetitive and boring. And that's what I'm worried about. Because I'm not saying BioWare makes bad open world games. They make great open world games like Dragon Age Inquisition and a couple of other games that it's going over the top of my head, but still they do make great open world games. But the thing I loved about Mass Effect wasn't the fact that it was open world. It was the fact that the games let you get invested in the characters. And they didn't try to take the focus away from that. That was the whole point of the game. So when you decide to make the game open world, are you going to take the route of just adding things like enemy fortresses that you have to just do the same thing over and over? Or are you just going to do the same side quests, the fetch quests, and all that crap? Or are you going to take the long way and do what the games that like Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto do, which take a lot of development time, by the way, but they're worth it in the end. They make the world feel alive. Games like that, games like Fallout 4, games like Grand Theft Auto, games like The Witcher 3 take a lot of time to develop the side missions to make the world, feel epic and grand. It doesn't make the world feel hollow. And that's what hoping the game is. And even if I'm hoping the game is that, I still like the linear gameplay a lot. Some people don't like it, and I understand that, but that's just me, I'm also worried about the, other stuff that concerns me, like the director of the first 3 games leaving, and the writers, some of the writers abandoning ship. That sounds a lot like what happened to Destiny, and Destiny was felt to me like a hollow shell of a game that was like cut. It's always cut from the game, and that's really sad because I like the concept of Destiny, but I had to pay through all this DLC just to get to the game I wanted to play. And even then, I felt ripped off, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, this is EA, so who knows if there's like content from the game, or just put microtransactions in, and put it as like DLC on the season pass. I mean, who knows? All I know is that let's tone down our expectations for the game. I like what I'm seeing, but I don't want this to be like another No Man's Sky situation where the hype is overblown and what we're seeing is not what's in the actual game. Because it happens a lot this gen. People seem to not learn from history. We don't also want another Mass Effect 3 situation where everyone's going crazy. I mean, I didn't like the ending, but let's not go insane over this sort of thing. Let's just see what the game is. Let's just temper our expectations. I don't think it'll be the Mass Effect that the fans, the pure Mass Effect fans that they want. It might not be. I mean, a lot of people see this game and say it's gonna be the best thing ever, but let's keep in mind that this was made solely for the reason just to reestablish a new IP. This wasn't made because some guy had a great idea. This was just a corporate IP that was reestablished just for a new gen. And the people who made the first 3 games, some of the people, they left, they abandoned ship, so it might not be as good as the other ones. I mean, it could be good in its own right as its own thing, but I don't think it's going to be as good as the first 3 to Mass Effect fans. But we'll see. I mean, if it's that good, I'll bite my tongue. It's just maybe the controversial ending to Mass Effect 3 will lower people's expectations already, but I don't know. We'll see. I want this game to be good. I want this game to be awesome, but I don't want this game to suck, Well, we'll see what happens, I hope this game is great, and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm still going to temper my expectations. And if you want to do that, I'm sure it'll make your game experience much better. Trust me. Okay, so that's my opinion on Mass Effect Andromeda. I hope you liked this video. If you want to click on my channel, want to check my other videos, subscribe. Thanks for watching.